Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Bones Collector, and I'm Bones Collector. This is Gravy, this is Biscuits. They're going to do the video with me today. They're very excited about it, as you can see. Today's video is about IP games. Now, I wanted to do this video for quite a while because I have quite a few IP games in our library, and it's something I would have never thought possible back when IP games were just horrible. Whenever you bought a game that was intellectual property from a movie or something like that, it was always weak in its mechanics and just developed and designed by people who really aren't very good at doing that. So back in the day, these games were very poor. Now, I think the first time I remember an IP game being good was Lord of the Rings by Reiner Knizia in 2001. I believe that game came out. Now, that was a very good game. So after that, IP games started getting a little better. Now, I'm going to talk about a top 10 because, you know, that's what people like to see. But I'm going to talk about all the games that are IPs in our library right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is start off with this game, and this is Star Wars Villainous. My daughter-in-law bought this game for us for Christmas, you know, or I think it was Christmas, wasn't it? Christmas. And immediately when I saw it, I was like, oh no, I don't know about this. Of course, we took it home and played it. We played every character in this base box, and I told Lori, that was pretty good. I didn't believe it was going to be very good, so my expectations were here, and after we got done playing it, they were up here, which was a surprise, right? So we went out and bought these two boxes. Let's see, this one's got 3 more characters, this has 2 more characters, and we've played all of these characters. And we enjoy this game. You have a villain guide of things that are going to help you in your quest to complete your goal. And then you have 2 decks of cards you're going to use. One's a character deck, your villain deck, and the other's a fate deck that your opponent's going to use against you. We only play this at 2. You know, we go back and forth. But it's very nicely published. I was impressed with that, and the game works mechanically fine. If you're not familiar with the Star Wars universe, each character, their goal that they have in this particular game, it mimics their goal in the movie. So that's really cool. And I really enjoyed that part because we're big Star Wars fans, I'm going to tell you right now. Just because, again, if you haven't watched this channel, we were there for the midnight showing in 1976 or whatever, and we had to sit in the front row and watch the whole movie like that, but it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen at the time. And we were only 20 years old or whatever, but I enjoyed it, and I've been a fan ever since. But we really enjoy this game, and I can recommend it to you. If you like that style of game, you're going to be going back and forth between the other players, and they're going to be trying to hurt you with this fate deck, which the game is actually the thing that's going to be hurting you. But where they place some of those cards and so forth is up to them. But it doesn't feel overly mean, does it?
No.
For whatever reason, it doesn't feel overly mean. Again, there's some interaction there, enough that it makes it really interesting. Star Wars Villainous, I can recommend it if you think you might like something like that. And we keep it because it's different. We like to have a board game library of just different styles of games so that we don't get too bored. So the other one I want to talk about real quick, because it goes with Star Wars also, is this Star Wars Risk Black Series game. Now, I didn't know anything about this game, but someone told me, hey, on Amazon, they're blowing it out for $23. And I thought, well, I'll try it. And so we bought this game for $23. And boy, what a nice publishing job for it. I was so impressed. It's got a Death Star in it, miniature, and it's got a Imperial Cruiser miniature and the Millennium Falcon. And the board that you play on is a TIE Fighter. I mean, if you've not seen this game before, it's quite impressive. It's got this foam core insert. I mean, I was like, wow, this game is pretty nice. And then you got 2 decks of cards in there and the little miniatures, and then I got, ouch, almost took myself out. And we use little Lego figures, Star Wars Legos, when we play it, because those are in there too. And then all these little plastic miniatures that are part of the game, some nice D6s, and look how nice that insert is, and the publishing job is amazing. But the thing I want to say about this is, I also had Star Wars Rebellion. Lori bought that for me for a gift, because again, we're big fans, and I played that 3 times, and we just didn't. I don't care for hide and seek.
Yeah.
First of all, that mechanic I just don't care for. And so I sold that game off and kept this little $23 Star Wars Risk, and we get it out and play it and have a good time doing it. I really enjoy it.
And the grandkids like this.
And my grandkids like it, yeah. So I just want to say that. So keeping with the Star Wars theme, we're going to go with Star Wars Mandalorian. And this game is only a couple of years old, and it's by a very good designer, Knizia. And he's done some games that we have in our library. I can't think of them offhand, but he's really been involved in a lot of board games that we enjoy. He's a nice designer. And if you've ever seen the Mandalorian series on Disney, he recreated that universe in a really, really fun fashion. And it's it has a feel of an adventure game to it. It has cardboard standees, and I applaud their publishing of this game to a degree. They did some nice things in here when they published this game. It's got like an egg carton insert, so I was impressed with that because it's obviously biodegradable, which is very important. The only complaint I had was the card stock. So the card stock I was a little bit disappointed in, but that was it. The rest of the game was published very nicely. You have a spiral book in here that has your missions in it and maps that you're going to play on, and that's pretty cool. And then it has some sealed material in here too, some of the mission stuff that you're going to open up as you go. And I thought that was pretty cool. And if they support this with some expansion stuff, I could see this game really being very popular. Again, Corey Kinesi, he knows what he's doing. He's a good designer. We were curious about it because we liked The Mandalorian. I really enjoyed that series. We waited till it was completely finished, and then we binged it because that's the only way I like to do things. I don't want to wait. So we binged the whole thing. And I was very impressed with it. I enjoyed it, and that's The Mandalorian. The board game's very good. Okay, I'm going to talk about this little game, Ghostbusters. This came out to promote the Ghostbusters movie with the girls in it. Kristen Wiig and Kate McKinnon, Melissa McCarthy, and Chris, what's his name? Chris Helmswood?
Yes, he's Chris Helm.
He's Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, he plays the dumb receptionist, which is a great part for him. He did a very good job. But the movie's pretty good. We picked this game up for nothing and sold it. And my grandkids got upset because we always played this with them.
But they said they didn't want it, so we sold it, and then they wanted it back.
They wanted it back.
Because they're kids.
We've never won this game, have we?
No, not yet.
We put it on the most difficult level.
Yeah.
And we can't.
No, there's one above that. Because the one above it, you have to get the things out, the discs out in order.
In order, yeah. We can't even get the discs out. You have a backpack that you're wearing, and these discs are going to be on the map, the board, and you have to go to those rooms. And of course, there's doors that's going to open and close, but you got to go to those rooms, collect those discs, and get them out of the building before time runs out, and you got too many hauntings or whatever.
It's Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters. Yeah. Reskinned.
Yeah, exactly. Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters, which we've never played that, have we? But we've never won this game, but the grandkids keep wanting to try.
We've been one step from the door, and
we've had the last disc at the doorstep to leave, and we lost.
Yeah.
So we got it back because I would have $9.
It was like $11 the second time I bought it.
So we bought it again, and the grandkids come over. They like to play it. But that's Ghostbusters Protect the Berry. What a tough game, man.
We just watched that movie last night.
Yeah, just watched it last night. Next game I'm going to talk about is Disney Animated. And this is really a unique cooperative game. By the way, the Protect the Berry is cooperative. Yeah. So, you're working as a team, and when we get our grandkids together, they always want to try and win that game, even though we always lose. But this game is kind of unique. You have a movie cell that you're trying to put together in a cooperative fashion, and as you build that puzzle, you're trying to get those movie cells put on.
Each one has 3 cells. You can't use their special power until their cell is on there.
Yeah.
And then you need to get the villain on your board as well to finish it off.
Okay, there we go. So it's an action selection type of thing. You're going to have cards here, I think. Okay. Anyways, this is what the board looks like, and this is a timer over here. And if you get to the deadline, of course, you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. But you have these movie cells that you're putting together, and that's what the board looks like. One of the boards, and then you have
those are puzzle pieces on that board, though, that you have to put in as well.
These come out, and you have to build those. And once you build those, then you can put your cell on there, and everything comes in these little tuck boxes
that look like books.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was a nicely published game, but it is a unique game, and we're always looking for games that play differently. And putting together those movie cells, it was just an original idea. So we really enjoyed that, and that's called Disney Animated, a cooperative game by Prospero Hall. But there are 6 characters in here, and it's a lot of fun to try to put together those movie cells because they unlock some special benefits, and you're trying to get your villain in the movie.
Each one is a different movie.
So good. I mean, it's just, The game itself, it's just a cooperative game, and you're trying to mitigate
action selection. I mean, there's nothing to
mitigate
it.
all this stuff that's going to happen to you, but they put a unique twist on it with those movie cells, and that's why we keep it and we enjoy it a lot, and that's called Disney Animated. Yeah, this is ScoobyDoo the board game. We kickstarted this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we kickstarted this, and
because we got it painted.
And we got the painted edition. Once I found out that you could order an edition of this game that was painted, it's by Simon Games, I said, hey, get a couple of those. So we did. We bought 2 of them. And I moved one of them on. But all the characters and all the villains and everything in this box come pre-painted. The what you call it, Mystery Machine van and everything. And again, this is another game that's relatively simple. There's nothing really earth-shattering about it, but
it's
just
cooperative. Did you say
playing the
that?
game. Yeah, it's a cooperative adventure game. So playing the game with other people and doing the voices of the characters and so forth is worth the price of admission. It's fun to do that and have a good time with it. Again, Simon Games, I applaud them for offering a copy of this game that was completely painted. It's so necessary for me to buy games that are completely finished. I mean, I don't care. I think the other version of this game that you can get, the characters are colored plastic, but they're not painted, complete painted figures. But I like them all nice and painted like that. I'm not going to paint. I play board games. I don't really paint. I appreciate that people in this hobby like to do that. I do not like to do that. I don't have the time, first of all.
Yeah.
But it would take a lot of time to learn. It would take a lot of time to do. It would take a lot of money to own paint. And I just don't want to do any of that. I like playing board games. I like them to be in full color, just like this. And that's why I always complain about those gray plastic miniatures. But Simon Games offered a version of this that could be acquired completely painted. And that's why we backed it on Kickstarter. And I think most publishers should do that. Offer an option in their games where you can get your game, no matter how many miniatures you have in it, completely painted. And I think Freedom 5 did that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous.
Yep.
Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, we have Heroescape that comes completely painted now. And we have that game. That's ScoobyDoo the board game. Hey, it's a fun little game, and it's fun to make the voices and everything. And then this game, Firefly The Game, we're big fans of this IP. We watched the series, it was on Sci-Fi Channel, maybe? I don't know, back in the day.
Back in the day, I think it was Sci-Fi, yes.
We watched this whole series and we still revisit it once in a while. We enjoyed it very much, and the game reflects that same adventure. This is an adventure game where you have a big map of the verse, and you're going to have a ship, and you're going to pick up and deliver. That's what it is.
That's all it is, yeah.
Pick up and deliver, and you have a bunch of cards in here. I forget how many cards, but you can buy all kinds of expansion material for this game.
Well, the big deluxe game comes in a huge box, the anniversary.
10th anniversary edition, some big coffin case. I
That
think
someone almost bought.
Yeah, who was that?
I don't know.
I saw it at a board game convention, and the guy was selling it for like $300 or $400. I don't know, something ridiculous. A lot of those expansions add meanness to the game.
Yeah.
A lot more interaction, which we didn't really care for. We got this little base box for $20. $15. You know,
and it has an expansion in it.
Yeah, and $15 with one of the expansion ships, the Dodger, Artful Dodger, or something like that. Yeah. We got it and played it. We really enjoy that. Again, it's in a universe where we're very familiar with it, so it makes the game more fun because of that. And that's Firefly the Game. Josh Whedon's Firefly the Game. That's pretty cool. Okay, now I'm going to get to my top 10. I just wanted to ramble through those real quick. Those are the games that...
real quick is accurate.
Yeah. Okay, number 10. Oh, here we go. Number 10 is... Yes, another Star Wars. Yeah, obviously we're Star Wars fans. You know, but Star Wars Outer Rim. This is this Corey Casey? Yeah, this is Corey Casey, and he did The Mandalorian. And I said, and we have some games by him in our library. And we have an expansion in here. Unfinished Business is the name of the expansion, and I would suggest doing that. Now here's the deal. In an adventure card game, which is what this is and what Firefly is, the more cards you have, the more variety you're going to have in the game. And as long as it doesn't change the game too much, the expansion, which it didn't. If you have never seen Outer Rim, the board is a big, like a half circle, and you're going to travel around in that universe and pick up and deliver and have different encounters with different decks of cards. And the cards that come in the game are, the number of cards, that come in the game is fine. But if you're going to play this game quite often, you will need that expansion. Not to mention, it adds a new cool mechanic where you can go from one end of that half circle to the other without going the complete way, moving one at a time.
That
you can
helps.
go from end to end and get back over to here if there's something you want to do over there. So it's got some really cool dice. I think they're D8s. And I just really enjoy this game. It's one of my favorite games that I've played in quite a while. Star Wars Outer Rim, a game of bounty hunters, mercenaries, and smugglers from 1 to 4 players. Number 10, Star Wars Outer Rim. I really enjoy it. All right. And number 9 is a game from 2024, and it's called Invincible. Even though we're not familiar with this, it's a Netflix animated show. I hear that it's pretty violent. I haven't seen it, and I don't really care to watch it, to be quite honest with you, because I played this game at a convention. Laura and I sat down and played it, and I said, "What'd you think of it?" And she didn't really care for it at the time. I said, "Well, I felt something there. I'm going to admit to you, honey, I felt something playing that game. There's something there I want to explore." And so, did we play it again, or did we just
we
went ahead and bought it?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I want to get it. So we went up to the Haven here in Castleberry, and Matt had a very good price on it. And so we picked this game up from Matt at the Haven, and came home and played it, and I was right. It was a good game.
He was right. I have to say he was right.
This is such a fun game. You're trying to save civilians, and you're going to be using a bag.
It's a bag builder.
Different colored cubes in it, and you're going to be pulling those cubes. Push your luck. You're going to be pulling those cubes out of that bag, and whatever, depending on the color, you're going to activate certain cards that you have paid for and put down in front of you. And it has different color squares on them, and you're going to pull those cubes out and put them on the squares. And once you fill all the squares in, you're going to activate that power of that card, whether it's a gut punch or whatever is on the card. It allows you to interact with the game and do damage to the villain in the episode that you happen to be playing. And in that bag also are black cubes. Those are wild. There's only so many of them, and they're in your bag, and you're pulling. Black cube, black cube. Well, guess what? If you get 3 of them, you bust. Your whole turn is down the crapper. So once you pull that second one out of there, you're like, okay, I got to stop because I can't lose this turn. I've got so much going on my cards and so many cubes out now. I just can't afford to lose that turn. And so that's just a lot of fun to play that. I appreciate this game very much. It's published wonderfully, and it has cardboard standees. That guy looks like Dr. Strange. So I'm glad for that. Thank you for not giving me gray plastic. I appreciate it. Dire Wolf is the publisher, of course. Dune Imperium and Plant Catacombs from Dire Wolf. So they've had 3 in a row that hits that are very good. Hey, try this game. It's wonderful. Invincible. All right. Now let's go to another IP game, The Witcher. This, oh my gosh, is heavy. There we go. The Witcher Old World. And this is a game that is an adventure game where you're going to the first one to complete or get 5 trophies or 4.
I think it's 5.
4 or 5 trophies wins the game. You have a couple of decks of cards, and it's called your life deck, and you're building that deck as you go through this game. At the end of every turn you take, you're going to take a card and put that in your deck, and that's pretty nice. Then, when you go to battle a monster in this game, the monster has a certain value, and that value is going to be their life deck. And you are going to battle that life deck that the monster has against your life deck and the one you've built by selecting cards from the market. And you're going to play those, and if you can outlast that monster, you get a trophy for it. Now there's a beautiful board in here, and you're going to travel around that board and have different kinds of encounters. You have 3 decks of cards. Those are going to be encounter decks that you're going to use in this game. And we have an expansion in here of 200 cards that's available, and I'm so happy the publisher did this because, again, this is an adventure style game where you're going to be peeling off cards off the top of decks and having choices to make depending on what's happening to you in the text on that card. And in order for that to stay fresh, we played it about 4 times and started to see some of the same cards. So we knew what was going to happen and so forth. And that was okay, but I told Lori I wish they would make an expansion with just cards, and lo and behold they did. and then a 200 card adventure deck, and you're going to add cards to all 3 of those decks. And now they're about that thick, and you shuffle them up, and no matter how many games you're going to play, you're not going to memorize everything that's in those decks.
And this was a video game, correct?
This was a video game, The Witcher, which we've never played.
Nope.
We've never played it, and we'll never play it.
No, not at this stage in the game.
But we really enjoy this game. It has beautiful custom dice in it. It does have gray miniatures in it, but they're just for the avatar, so there's 6 of them, because there's 6 characters in here. I think 5 or 6. You're a Witcher, and you're going to be trying to put together a run of luck to be able to overthrow and win either 4 or 5 trophies, whatever it is on a trophy tracker track. And once you do that, you're going to be the winner of the game. We enjoy this game very much. The Witcher Old World. I didn't think I would like it, but we really do. And keeping going. Witcher Old World. Okay, this is a game we just played recently, and this was to launch a movie, the new Star Trek series back in the day. You know, the 60s television show was so very, very popular, and then there was a series of movies with those same actors from that 60s series, and then as those people got older, lo and behold, they wanted to get some younger people in there. And I thought for sure when they launched this movie, I was going to hate it.
Mm-hmm. We expected to.
I thought there's just no way it's going to be any good. You know, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy. I grew up watching those shows. I grew up in the '60s, and that's when that was on, and I really enjoyed it very much. But they launched this new movie with Chris Pine and some of the other actors that they selected to play those characters in their younger days. Oh my gosh, they couldn't have selected better people. It was absolutely outstanding. I watched this movie, and Lori and I both said, wow, that was fantastic. And it actually overtook popularity with us from Star Wars. We actually enjoyed these Star Trek movies better than the new Star Wars movies that were coming out. They were just, for whatever reason, yeah. So anyways, yeah, this is Reiner Knizia's take. He designed this game to launch that movie. It's Star Trek Expeditions. It is cooperative. You are working together and beaming up and down from the planet. All the while, the bird of prey is beating the crap out of the Enterprise. And this game is tough, man. It's tough.
Some people claim it's a very simple co-op.
It's simple. It's not hard, the rule set or anything. But, man, stopping that bird of prey from taking your life out is just really tough to do.
And then when you can get the bird, we got the bird of prey stopped, but then there's a timer counting down, and the timer almost counted down on us.
You can lose this game. And then if you win the game, the thing I like about it, or one of the things I like about it, is that when you win the game, it's just not, hey, we won. You have a point value that you're going to earn depending on how you did playing the game, and then it'll give you a chart and tell you
what your rank is.
Yeah, your rank and your awards. You know, you might go to whatever Star Trek headquarters is there and get a Medal of Honor, whatever. But I really like that about it.
Played it twice just recently. Yeah. The first time we did terrible.
We did terrible, yeah. And I said, oh, we gotta stop that bird of prey. It's just beating the crap out of us. And I tell you what, it has custom dice in here, and that bird of prey dice, when you roll it for the 1, it has a little icon of the bird of prey. When you roll that bird of prey heals, and you work so hard to get it damaged, and then it just heals. Can't believe how many times we roll that. I know. Oh my gosh! How many times are you going to roll a 1 on a D6? But by golly, it happens too often. It makes you cry. So you're all the time trying to do that. And then in this game, it has an adjustable difficulty, as all good co-op games do, and it has a deck of cards that you're going to turn up 1 at the beginning of every round.
It's the Stardate deck.
Stardate deck, and it has 3 lines on it. And if you want to do easy, you just do the top line. If you want to do medium, you do the top 2 lines. If you want to do the most difficult level, which I don't know, I don't know if we even try it.
Well,
we might one day.
Yeah.
But you'd have to do all 3 lines on that card. No way, man.
And it makes the bird of prey attack, and it advances the Stardate.
Yeah.
And it sometimes punishes you and says you can't beam this round, things like that.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what, it's a hard game. And the miniatures in here are painted, and they're those hero clicks, if you are familiar with those. I'll take a lid off and show you. But we found that picking those hero clicks up all the time and twisting them was a pain. So Lori printed these off of Board Game Geek, So they got a little painted miniature, and it's got a HeroClix thing. You can turn these around, and it's going to change the values of the command science and operations that determine what you're going to be doing as far as an encounter in the game. Lori printed these off BGG, and you put a paper clip on them, and you just track them with the paper clip along there, whatever's inside.
It's easier for our old eyes.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to see this than it is this. Now, young people probably won't have a problem using these HeroClix, but even the ship is a HeroClix, and the Bird of Prey and the Enterprise, which is so cool. Again, I mean, I don't know. It's so much fun. I can't imagine anybody. Yeah, there's the Bird of Prey. And they're at the top of the board, and depending on how far away the Bird of Prey is, it changes how much damage they can do to you. And it's so frustrating because this ship is just annoying. And every time you draw those Stardate cards and it says the Bird of Prey attacks, you groan. Oh no!
Because it moves one space towards you, and then it fires.
So it's moving towards you, and if it gets adjacent to you, they up their power, and they're a lot tougher. But oh my gosh, Lori found this game, and I tell you guys this all the time. We were at some kind of a board game. Maybe it was a convention.
It was at a convention at the flea market.
At a physical flea market.
Physical flea market.
Lori said, "Hey, this is by Reiner Knizia."
And it's Star Trek.
And it's Star Trek.
And it's $15.
Yeah, it's $15. I was like, okay. Sold. I'll take it. $15. We brought it home, played it, and I said, wow, that game is good. And then I got on BGG and listened to the people complain about it. I'm like, are they playing a different game than I'm playing?
It's rated like a 6.6 or something.
I don't get it. That game is fantastic. It's right.
If you like Star Trek and you like co-op games, I guess.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer if you like Reiner Knizia co-op games and Star Trek. And it's going to stay in our library forever. Next game I want to talk about is by Prospero Hall. Again, that's Horrified. This is, again, monsters from my past. So there's a lot of nostalgia here because of the monsters that are in this game, the Universal monsters. I really, really enjoy this game. I think this is one of the games that really made me pay attention to IP games. It's Pandemic, okay, and hey, I applaud Pandemic. Best game of the century so far because it's been cloned so many times in board gaming. Different mechanics out of Pandemic have been used in so many cooperative games that, I mean, they should give Matt Laycock some kind of an award for just changing the face of cooperative gaming in the board gaming hobby. But I love Horrified. And you can choose the difficulty level in this game also as you are trying to complete different objectives. Each monster has a card, a big oversized card that tells you what their objective is. It could be maybe reworking some tokens and stuff like that. Coffins for Dracula.
One's got a puzzle.
Yeah, puzzle you got to complete. And you're trying to complete those so that you can get those monsters off the board. Now, medium is 2 monsters and difficult is...
There's 3.
Yeah.
And each monster, there's 2
difficulty.
monsters that are easy, 2 that are medium, 2 that are hard. So you could really crank it up.
But if you play 3 monsters, you're going to lose a lot. And it's very difficult. And the last time we played this game, and I talk about it in the last few videos, we played this game and we won on our last turn by luck. We happened to draw the last card. If that deck empties and somebody goes to draw, you've lost the game. And it was the last card in the deck. We drew it, and it sent Dracula to my space. A whole board. And that card sent Dracula to my space. I had everything I needed to defeat Dracula. We could not believe it. And I'm still talking about it. It happened 6 months ago. That's why I always tell people, play cooperative games because you will never experience moments like that unless you play a cooperative game where you get together with people that you love to play board games with and you snatch victory from the jaws of defeat somehow.
We were convinced we lost.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way we could win.
Yeah.
We couldn't get to Dracula. He was on the other side of the board. There's no way you could get to him.
It's crazy to have that kind of experience. And again, it's so electric when that happens that you just talk about it and you will remember it the rest of your life. And we played Castle Panic not too long before that, and we had lost that game. Yeah, there's a monster, and if that monster moved again, it was going to take our last castle wall, and we lost. We drew a card, and it sent a boulder down that very sector and killed that monster for us. And it was just luck that we won that game. I don't know how I felt about that because, again, we had lost, and just by the luck of the draw, we were able to win that game. But hey, that's what cooperative adventure gaming is all about. And Horrified is so wonderful. And it's so inexpensive and available everywhere. Just a nice game. That's Horrified. All right, next game I'm going to talk about is Pillars of the Earth. And this is another game that can be acquired very cheaply. This is an IP, this was a movie, a book. Ken Follett, I think, is the author of the book. And this, what is it?
A miniseries.
Miniseries, yeah, which we watched and we enjoyed. But this is designed by Michael Reineck, who's a very reputable board game designer, and Stefan Stadler. So, Pillars of the Earth is a nice Euro game, and it has a little bit of a dry look to it, and I think that turns people off. But the game is wonderful, and there's a 2-player variant on BGG that makes this game outstanding for 2 players. And Lori and I enjoy it very much. I mean, there's a lot going on in this game. You're acquiring cards and craftsmen and stuff that are going to give you special benefits, and you know, you're getting cubes to build things. But the thing I like the best is the round counter is this cathedral building, and it's 6 pieces. So the game's 6 rounds long, and every time it's your turn, you take one of those pieces, and at the I don't know if at the beginning or the end of the round you're going to place that piece at the end of the round or whatever, and you're going to build that cathedral as the game goes by. And I like that. At the end of the game, boom, that building is standing there in the middle of the board. I love that about it. And it has a blind draw from a bag where you're taking governors or whatever out of the bag, and it's going to be on a track like a clock that, depending on how you drew those out of the bag, those are going to be how the turn order goes.
And there's one in there for the dummy player.
Yeah, there's some for the dummy player too. So you want to take those workers and you're going to place them in places on the board. But it works beautifully. I like this game a lot. I enjoy it. I enjoy playing it at 2-player with Lori. They were blowing this game out for, I don't know, $15 on Amazon just recently. I mean, and I was thinking to myself, if you don't have a copy of this game, you need to get it and play it. But Pillars of the Earth is a game that I won't let go of. I enjoy playing it, and it gives me that feeling of complexity that is right there at my fun level, I guess. Once games get a little bit too complex, it takes away a little bit of the fun for me. Lori's a little smarter than me. I'm not very smart, so this game is, for me, is fantastic. It's right where I like to play board games, and that's why I'll hang on to it forever. And it's Pillars of the Earth. And the movie's good too if you've never seen it.
This one's heavy, so I'll help you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next game I'm going to talk about is Legendary James Bond deck building game. I have every movie for this game. I think there's 5 or 6 of them now.
4, 5.
Yeah.
Came with 4, 5. There's 7 in there.
And do you have to be a James Bond fan to like this game? Yeah, I think you kind of do, because the cards themselves are movie stills.
But there's a legendary for everybody.
There is
whatever you like, they have a legendary.
But for James Bond specifically,
yep.
I think you have to be a fan of the movies. This has a lot of nostalgia for me. Again, I grew up in the 60s. I love Goldfinger and all those movies with Sean Connery in them. He was one of my favorite superheroes. Him and Sherlock Holmes. When my grandkids ask me, what superheroes do you like the best, Papa? I say James Bond and Sherlock Holmes. Those are my 2 favorite superheroes, and I love playing this game because of it. If you've played the Legendary system, of course, you're very familiar with it, but it has a card in here called Inevitable, and that's the hardest thing about this game. And you put it on the board, and it moves down the track, and the way this game works is when it moves down the villain track, and if it leaves, you're going to possibly have too many of them and you're going to lose the game. But the Inevitable card, if it leaves the track, you've lost. Well, all those other cards that you're going to encounter in that game, you can remove them by defeating them with your cards. It's a cooperative game. You're taking turns trying to mitigate these villains that are on the board, but the Inevitable card cannot be removed. So the best you can hope for is to move it back. You know, if you defeat it one time, it'll move back 1 space. If you're not ready for that, it's going to beat you. That card will beat you. So you have to make sure by the time that card appears that you're pretty strong and you've gotten most of those villains defeated. And let's see, it has a deck of scheme cards that you're going to be dealing with, and then the villain is the mastermind.
And there's Master Strikes.
Master Strikes that are going to happen in the game. Wonderful card system. I enjoy it very much. Comes with a neoprene player mat in it. I love this game. I was able to acquire it used. I think it might have come with one.
It came with one
expansion movie, and I bought the others. So I enjoy it. I mean, all my favorite characters, you know, Judi Dench is them, and Pierce Brosnan is in one, and Timothy Dalton, and just an outstanding, fun time. And that's a nice IP game called Legendary, a James Bond deck building game. Okay, hopefully I got these in order. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I do. Okay, next game I'm going to talk about is another Dire Wolf game like Invincible. I told you they came out with Clank Catacombs. Or when, yeah, it was Clank Catacombs, then this, and then Invincible.
I believe so.
And this is a worker placement game, deck building type of system in it. And we enjoy this universe also. Reading the books back in middle school, you're captivated from the time you read a book. And there's been some Dune games that came out that some people have loved. We never played those. We never played another one, did we?
No.
I think this is the only one we've ever played.
We did play one.
Did we? Oh yeah. What was
I
that?
can't remember, but we didn't care for it.
Yeah, Arrakis? Was it called Arrakis?
I remember.
Wasn't very good at all.
We didn't care for it.
Yeah, but Dune Imperium, we enjoy playing this game very much. Again, that Dune IP, we love the new movies that have come out.
There were miniseries, TV shows.
Yeah, there's been all kinds of Dune stuff. We enjoy this game. You're racing to 10 points, and of course, after someone reaches 10 points, you can add up and see who won the game. Just because you were the first one to 10 doesn't mean you've won, but you're trying to get to 10 to end the game. But we enjoy this game very much, and you can buy all kinds of add-ons for this game. Lori bought stickers off Etsy, I believe, and stickered everything in here, so that's pretty cool. Do we have anything else this game? I can't remember.
No, but you can buy the minis package.
Yeah, there's a big Dune box you can buy, and it has all those add-ons that you can get for this game, minis and stuff, which, hey, if you like it, and I've seen those people do that and paint them, and it looks fantastic, and it makes the game even more immersive, which is just a lot of fun. Now, we have not played the big miniature game Duel.
War for Arrakis.
War for Arrakis? Is that what it's called?
The big box that's red and blue.
I just didn't attract me. It has too many miniatures in it. They're unpainted, so it just doesn't.
And what's the new one? Dune Imperium.
Oh yeah, Uprising.
Uprising.
Yeah.
Uprising.
Dune Uprising, which I have no interest in acquiring. Also,
It doesn't change that one enough.
We're in love with this game, just the way it is, and I know my friend Richard is going to tell me, no, you have to play it with an expansion. He loves one of the expansions. I have played the expansions and I sold them. I just like playing this base game just because all the expansions either added a mechanic to the game or added an extra board. I didn't care for any of that. I just like this game the way it is.
They're probably fine. It's just too much for
Maybe
us.
I would like some extra cards if the publisher would just do a card expansion. I love those kinds of add-ons to games. But we love Dune Imperium, and Dire Wolf has done a great job with this game. We really enjoy playing it. And the cards they're not movie stills, but they're drawings of the characters, the actual characters in the film. So you get into it rather easily. I think in this game, 200 plus cards. So this game has a pretty nice variety to it already. We're going to have in the neighborhood of about 125 games in the end.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. This is going to be one of them. And by the time we play through those 125 games and get back to Dune Imperium, it'll be fresh enough that it won't feel like there's any variety missing whatsoever. Dune Imperium, very popular. Very popular game. My number 2 IP game in my library is the Arkham Horror Files from Fantasy Flight Games. This is just one box of it. I have every expansion for this 3rd edition. I have even the Investigators of Arkham Horror book. I have the Deluxe Rule Book from Arkham Horror. Got such interesting information in it, and it just immerses you even more in this game. You know, Fantasy Flight Game paid for all that IP material, and they can expand on it, do whatever they want to with it for this game. And in the 3rd edition, if you haven't seen that, it has a board that I really enjoy because it's modular, so it has different setups depending on the scenario you're going to play. I love the system of cards that they use in this game, all the neighborhood cards that you can encounter while you're moving around the board. So much fun. And again, we have 3 expansions. I think I figured out 1,300 cards in this in this game now, and it keeps it very fresh. And every time Halloween comes around, I want to drag this out and play it. And it's just Lori and I rolling dice, moving around the board, trying to accomplish our objectives and win the game. But it's a nice cooperative game, super adventure game, deep because of all the cards that are available for it. And I would highly recommend this to anybody that likes that type of immersion, that type of theme, because the more I play board games, I like these scary kinds of games that aren't gross and horrific type of thing, just some light scariness, and that's Arkham Horror. I love that game. All right, my number 1 cooperative IP is Harry Potter, you know, not all these were cooperative, but most of them were, weren't they?
Outer Rim is
Firefly.
competitive.
Outer Rim is competitive.
Pillars of the
Firefly,
Earth is
yeah.
competitive.
Yeah, okay, anyways, Harry Potter, Hogwarts Battle, this is a game that a lot of people shun. We don't. We love it. We have so many hours logged playing this game. I mean, we have like 60 plays of this, maybe more.
Well, because if you count each book as a play.
And each book takes an hour and a half once you get past book 3. This game is set up because and designed so that people who don't play board games can learn this game. The publisher knew that when they made this game, Harry Potter fans were going to buy it just because it's Harry Potter, even if they don't play board games. So they were going to have customers who are going to purchase this and don't know how to play modern board games or aren't familiar with mechanics that are going to be used in the game, and they would be lost. They made the first book as a tutorial just so you could go through the mechanics to understand how the game worked. And then exponentially, there's 7 books in here, and as you go on through the books, they get more difficult. Even if a good gamer, it can lose the 4th book. We do have some house rules, but you end up with this deck of cards that tall, and I'm stretching my fingers as wide as I can get them. It's that tall for the market, and you may not see some of those cards that you need to see to help mitigate some of the damage that's happening to you. So to fix that a little bit, in the market, I think there's 6 or 8 cards available.
And they did make this a rule in one of the expansions.
Yeah, and now it is a rule.
Yeah.
But as you draw cards off that deck, if it is a card that's already out there, you just lay it on top of that card and then draw another one for the empty space. That way you cycle through those cards a little more rapidly. And that's the only house rule we use in the base game. Now we have the monster box of monsters in this box also, so it's very heavy. And it introduced detention cards into the game. Now, sometimes I wonder if they just don't spend enough time playtesting, but you can end up with a handful of detention cards, the right set of villains, no chance to win the game. I mean,
Because you can't get rid of them.
Yeah, to the point where you can't even, it isn't even fun to play the game. So we introduced a rule, 2 rules actually. One, we have a house rule where we are allowed to buy for 3 money a detention card from your hand or discard pile. And it's difficult to do. That doesn't make the game easier. It just gives you another avenue to get rid of detention cards. Because there are cards in the market, or in the market deck that are going to appear that say you can get rid of a detention card. You may not come across those. So to get rid of 3 money to buy out a detention card out of your hand or discard pile is still a very difficult decision to make. When you're doing that, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I don't want to let go of that 3 money because there's a card in the market that I want to add to my hand. Because it's a deck building game and you're trying to get cards that are going to help you as much as possible. The more powerful cards you get, the better you're going to do against some of those harsher villains. So you want to add to that your deck, but letting go of 3 money is a very difficult decision, and it balances the game perfectly. We really enjoy adding that mechanic to the game. And then we also, when we can, stick in Crab and Goyle as one of the villains, because you can choose some of those randomly. We always choose everybody randomly except Crab and Goyle. We stick them in every game because they're probably the easiest set of villains. And this game, if you get the right 3 villains out right at the start of the game, I'm talking about like Barty Crouch and what's the girl? Bellatrix, and there's some not Mouthful, he's not bad. But there's some other ones in there that are very difficult. All 3 of those come out right at the beginning of the game. You have a deck of starting cards. It's just going to beat you down like a dog. And so to recover from that, there's got to be a breather in there somewhere. We stick in Crab and Goyle. And hey, if they don't come out right away, you're going to be strapped trying to survive. And in this game, once your health moves down to 0, you're going to stun. You got to discard half your deck rounded down, and you have to discard any money or damage tokens that you have, and you lose all that. You're going to stun. And that was hard for us to get used to at first. You're going to stun. Just do it in a
Try to do it when you don't have a lot of stuff.
Do it as strategically as you possibly can, and stun when it doesn't hurt you as bad as it could. But we love this game so much. We will play this game and then watch a movie. We'll play one of the boxes, and it'll take an hour and a half, and then we'll watch the film, and we'll have a whole Harry Potter week. And then, of course, Monster Box of Monster, I believe, adds 4 books, 4 books to it. And there's some big chunky dice in here. And again, it's movie stills. Do you have to be a fan of Harry Potter to enjoy this game? I don't know. I
I think probably.
Yeah. Because again, these are movie stills, and so if you're fans of the movies, it's a no-brainer. You're going to really enjoy it, and we do.
What's the other version? Oh, they have a Toy Story version.
Yeah, there is a Toy Story version of this very same game. I've never played it, and never even seen it played.
No.
This one is very popular. I can tell you this board game's out there in huge quantities, and we enjoy it very much. It's my #1 IP game, again, because we just played it and played it and played it, and just. I've read all the negative people's comments about them, and it just hasn't changed my opinion of the game. Laura and I love it, and we're going to continue to love it, and it will never go anywhere. Yeah, we're always going to play this game. But yeah, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, a cooperative deck building game, and that's my IP video for today. I probably talked way longer than I should have, and Biscuits and Gravy, I bored them right to sleep, and of course they were sleeping when we started. Our little Biscuit, she's only 2 years old, and she had a genetic disease in her gums, and we had to go have most of her teeth pulled, her cheek teeth. And so she's recovering from that, a little bit of surgery. We love these cats, as you can tell. But I'm glad you guys watched this video. We appreciate all the comments we had in our last video, and please comment on our videos. The algorithm in YouTube depends on comments and likes, so please take a minute and get on your telephone and like us, or if you can do it on your television. I don't know if you can do that on your computer or whatever. It just helps out a lot, and we enjoy doing these videos for you. Again, every game that I showed you today, Laura and I purchased with our own money. Nobody sent us a game. We all the expansions, everything, the extra geek bits, the things that we do to dress our games up are all purchased with our own monetary resources. But we enjoy doing that for you, and we enjoy doing this channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this video today. I love every one of you, and I would love to play a game with every one of you. I will say that, just because I enjoy this hobby. We just got done playing Spectacular before we did this video, and of course Lori won. She always beats me in Spectacular. And I thought I was doing so great, and I scored 181 to 194, something like that. I was doing great. She still beat me. But if you haven't played Spectacular, that game's amazing. But hey, that's enough. I'll see you the next time on The Bones Collector. Keep on board gaming. It's the best doggone hobby on the planet. Bye-bye.